Last year, many property experts were predicting a market crash right now. However, the opposite seems to be happening. The market is booming, it is on fire. People are panic buying property. Last year it was toilet roll. This year it's property. The for sale sign goes up and it's immediately followed by that sold sign. So what's fueling all this and when's it all going to change? Right now I'm just heading over to see a client. So why don't you come with me while I share with you my thoughts along the way.
How long are we going to be?
I think probably about an hour with this client.
Is it worth swinging by the new training suite?
I guess although we've agreed, we haven't got the keys yet.
Yeah, but it's worth swinging by, having a wee look.
Maybe. Let's go and have a look. We've just stopped off to share some really exciting news. Just behind me in this building here, we've just secured about 1,000 square foot office space, which essentially is going to be our new training suite. This is where we're going to run our new workshop and seminars from. So, this is something I'm really excited about. Our offices at the moment are just literally a few yards down there. We're on the main high street in King's Heath. So a great location, so happy about this. We haven't quite got the keys yet, they should be coming soon, but this is where we'll be running our workshop, where we'll be doing much more deep dive on specific topics. And if there's certain topics that you want to learn about, make sure you ping me a message, because we're just mapping out which programs and seminars that we're going to be running from here. And really there'll be more practical workshops and stuff about getting things done, because it's great going somewhere to learn about something, but actually if we don't do anything with that, there's no point picking up information for the sake of it. You've got to do something with it, see how it's going to help you, and ultimately what I want to do is help you get further faster in your property investing journey. Currently I've got a number of properties on the market, and as I've listed them, they've just literally sold within days of the for sale sign going up, and it just shows how hot the property market is. A couple of them have even sold above the asking price, and some of them pretty much on the money in terms of the asking price. And we've been looking for a house for my daughter as well that she's been looking to buy, and pretty much everything she's been looking at and putting offers in, they've been going way over the asking price. And I guess it just shows how much of a shortage there is in the property market right now, and how much there is much more of a demand than there is stock. And what that's doing, especially speaking to some estate agent friends of mine, is saying that's creating desperate buyers in the marketplace, and these desperate buyers are overpaying. There's three things that are fueling the market right now. There's the stamp duty holiday, so there's that push to be able to get transactions done before the end of June, and then of course there's the low interest rates. Now, the interest rates have never been this low historically, and also coupled with very high loan to value in terms of borrowing. That means you can borrow a lot of money at a very low loan to value, which is what's also fueling this demand for more people to want to push and buy. If we roll the clock back 10, 15 years when the last crash happened, and we look at some of these properties behind me in this skyline over here, the Birmingham skyline, all these apartments that were being built, some of them weren't even there at that time. These are sort of properties that used to sell way over a kind of regular prices, as it were. They were very high prices per square foot for what they were, and people were buying them off plan because it was speculative buying, in the hope the price is just going to carry on going up, they're going to carry on going up, and it was like a boom. And I'm not saying we're in a boom right now, but actually some of the things are creating that, where people are pushing or rushing to buy without there being any real logic as to what's driving and pushing the prices up. And that's effectively what creates that push up in price, where there's so many more people looking to try and buy something, and there's a limited amount of stock. Before the property crash in 2008, many people were rushing to buy property at that time because they thought it was the right thing to do, and everybody else was buying, and they felt they might feel like they're going to miss out and they should jump on the bandwagon as well, because they'd hear their neighbours and the people down the road were buying property and the values are going up and they're making X amount of money just really off plan. And this is really what was fueling this type of demand. So it's almost become self-fulfilling, where more and more people were buying because they thought they were going to miss out, and other people were jumping on that bandwagon as well. And now when we look at what's happening in the market right now, you find that people are buying, and people are rushing to buy, almost feel like they're being left out. If they don't buy, they're going to miss out. And some of it is partially driven by the factors we're talking about, like stamp duty, the stamp duty holiday. But when you think about it, even some of the recent reports that just in the last month, in April, there's been price rises of more than 2% in a single month. That pretty much, when you take that into context, it wipes out any of the gain that you are getting by trying to buy property quickly now because of the stamp duty holiday. But if the prices keep going up, and actually they might slow down, but they don't crash, then people will buy because they think actually, even if they're paying more right now, so for example, one of the properties we went to look at for my daughter, the asking price was 310,000, and in the end it went for 50,000 over the asking price. Now that's unusual in terms of not everybody will do that, but it just goes to show how much people are prepared to pay just to try and get the property. But what they're doing, they're buying the property thinking actually if I can lock it in now, in a few years time, if the prices keep rising, it won't feel as expensive compared to what they are now. And so it's this self-fulfilling thing about the markets keep pushing forward because more and more people are buying, and there really isn't enough people that are selling property, which is what's driving that price up. It's also worth remembering that people have been sitting at home for about a year doing very little and essentially not really spending as much money as well. So some people, their expenditure is reduced. For example, if they're on furlough, they're not driving to work, they're not buying the sandwiches, they're not buying the £3.50 coffee every day, and all these things stack up in terms of costs that people incur every day. And if even if they're picking up 80% of their salary while they're being furloughed, or they're working from home and they're not spending as much money, it means that people have got more money sitting in their bank accounts. In fact, there's a report recently from one of the banks that right now there's more money sitting in people's accounts than there normally is, quite a significant amount more. And this just goes to show that actually when this money is there, it's available, and our nation is not one of sitting on huge amounts of money. We're not great savers, we're actually great spenders, and so we'll see that people start spending that money, and this will also then help the economy. But in terms of property, what it means is that the property is a big contributor to the economy, generally speaking. And as the things start moving forward, people are spending money in the economy as well, you'll find that this will support the property market in terms of it keep moving forward. Now, so where does it all go? Where is it going to head to? With the people that are fairly, I think, are switched on when it comes to money, they understand that the government is borrowing all this money and needs to be repaid somehow. And one of the big results of this will be inflation. And inflation, as property investors, the advantage is that property will be worth more than it may be right now in terms of how much you're paying. It really is forcing up values of property. So rather than people having money sitting in the bank that's eroding in terms of value, more people that understand money and understand inflation will think it makes more sense to put that money in property. So there's still a number of factors there, coupled with the fact that the government has been determined not to let the property market collapse. Hey, look, if you're enjoying this content, I have several videos a month that I do that go onto the channel. Do me a favor, just hit that like button, also subscribe to the channel as well. And that way it really helps to get this sort of content out to more people and help more people get further, faster in their property investing journey. So it looks like we're gonna have a lift of lockdown next month. And as that happens, the vaccination program looks like that's working quite well, and we'll start seeing some sort of sense of normality. So if you're looking to buy property, should you be waiting? Should you be buying now? Look, my view has always been, if there's a good deal, you should do that deal regardless of really what's going on in the market. There's only so many things that you can control depending on the outcome you're trying to achieve. For example, if you're buying property for the long term, there might be ups and downs along the way, but you're going to be sitting on it long term. If you're looking to flip property, then of course you need to take into consideration what market might be like, what changes might happen in the market if you're looking to exit on that particular property. But ultimately it's about, is it a good deal to start with? And if it is, then really it's not about hesitating or waiting to buy. You should be jumping on it, getting that deal done and getting that property purchased. We're looking at deals, we're actively looking at deals, like I've mentioned before. Probably 95% of what I look at we just dismiss because it really doesn't stack up, it doesn't work, the prices are too high. But we're actively looking and we're buying stuff. We've still got stuff that's in the pipeline, we've got transactions going through, as I said, we've got a number of sales going through as well. And I did a video recently on the strategies that I'm focusing on for the rest of this year. If you haven't already seen that, we'll just link that up here now for you to have a look at after this particular video. So what's going to happen next in the marketplace? Where are we going to go? Is it going to slow down? Is it going to crash? Well, the reality is none of us got a crystal ball. We don't really know what's going to happen in the market. We don't know where it's going to go next. But what we can do, we can work on what we do know. And what we do know is that right now the market's quite strong. There's plenty of demand, there's not enough stock. And so if the deal's good, it's worth jumping on that and buying that. Personally speaking, I think what will probably happen, we'll get a little bit of a slowdown now towards the end of the year. You know, as the furlough stuff comes to an end, you know, we'll start seeing a little bit of a slowdown maybe in the marketplace. It's really difficult to predict and gauge, and which is why I don't think we should be sitting around waiting for things to happen. We should still make things happen. And ultimately, we've got to remember that interest rates are not likely to change anytime soon. And money has never been this cheap to be able to borrow. So we are absolutely in a perfect position when it comes to borrowing and leveraging there. So really, you know, that's my thoughts. I'd love to know what you think. Pop in the comment section below. I do my very best to try and go through every comment and reply to that. And so let me know your thoughts just below in the comment section. If you've enjoyed this video, you're going to like the one that I've got ready for you next, which is about property hotspots just up here. But just before you watch that, make sure you click on my face just down here to subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed.